tuned in to the one and only show, bringing you entertainment stories shaken, stirred with a little sass and a twist of lime. It's Northwest Nightcap with K-Cee Deeva, y'all. Don't miss it.
Oh, that cute couple with the little wedding bouquet. Cute couple. What up, peeps? It's your girl K-Cee Deeva here. Welcome to another edition of Northwest Nightcap. I'm K-Cee Deeva, and I'm so excited to be here. It always feels like such a long time in between the time we get to holler at the peeps and give them our what's what. It's been a long month. Trust me on that. Anyway, I hope everyone is healthy and well. And we've got a ton of stuff to talk about with you today. We've got our special segments from the heart, kicking it with Aunt, K-Cee's Corner, and all sorts of stuff to talk about. So we're just gonna go ahead and dive on in. First, I'll just remind you, hit me up on Instagram at MZKC Deeva.
You all right?
Okay.
Yeah, do that.
I need a sip too.
Real.
I'm getting choked up. K-Cee Deeva on Instagram, K-Cee Deeva on Facebook, or Dish with Diva, or Northwest Nightcap page. You know, all the pages on Facebook, or on Twitter at K-Cee Deeva Shows. So, and also on YouTube. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, the whole nine. This show is on there as well. You're going to watch it again. My YouTube channel, K-Cee Deeva Shows. All right, got all the business out of the way. Let's get to the fun. First and foremost, got to introduce my crew because I couldn't do this without them. Ladies first, of course, Miss Princess Robin. Miss Princess Robin is also the host of Traveler's Guide to Venus and Mars. Welcome, Princess.
Thank you so much, Deeva.
Thank you, neighbor.
Thank you, neighbor, for sure.
All right, and sitting next to her, her hubby, her loved one, her soulmate, Mr. K-Cee Clinton. Also, musical director for the legendary band Confunction.
Hey.
We are just humbled by your presence. Thank you for joining us each time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
All right, and last but certainly not least, in that wonderful green Mariners shirt.
Thank you.
Seattle Mariners, for those who don't know, Mr. Anthony Adams, also co-host with me on Afterthoughts, 90 Day Fiance, WTF Moments. We have a lot of fun on that show. If you're a 90 Day Fiance fan, we cover all the 90 days, the happily ever afters, what is the other one? Over there, other way, across the way, something like that.
across the
all the crazy. We cover that as well. So great to have all of them with me, and we're just gonna jump into story number one, which is I want to start off with something kind of fun and light because we have so much gloom and doom to deal with nowadays. We need some fun, some light. That's why we do the show, right?
Yes.
All right, Jaleel White, aka Urkel, from Family Matters, if you remember him. If you didn't remember Family Matters, the show, I know you know who Urkel was. Okay, if you don't know who Urkel was back in was it 80s? 90s? 90s, right? Yeah, in the 90s, and you don't know who Urkel was, the little nerdy guy with the big glasses and the rainbow suspenders, and he played all sorts of characters on the show. Well, Urkel's all grown up and now has Purple Urkel. Purple Urkel is his brand of weed.
Hey.
Urkel has certainly grown up, has he not?
That's a plot twist.
So no, here's what's funny. I didn't know this until I read the story, but apparently he said that this project comes after like 20-something years of hearing about his character Urkel being displayed on cannabis products. Like, I guess people have been using his image on weed.
Everybody did the same thing.
Okay.
Wow.
I was shocked by that. I was like,
interesting choice.
Right. I don't know the logic behind that. I don't know. What do you think, Ed? Why would you put Urkel in a weed pack?
That's interesting too. I guess because let's be honest here, Urkel was the coolest guy out of that whole show. I mean, so why not put something cool on what you think is a cool product? But I did not know that at all. That this is the reason why he was inspired to do that. Wow. Okay. Hey, you know what? If anybody's gonna use my image, it's gonna be me. I ain't mad at that.
Right. And lean into your camera a little bit more, Aunt, because I'm having a hard time hearing you a little bit.
Okay.
K-Cee, Princess, what do y'all think? Urkel on the weed package? What's the correlation?
Stephen Urkel or is it Stefan Urkel? Because he was hot. And I can see him sitting back, chill, having a little moment. Right. So which is it? Okay. Urkel. Well, I don't know.
Steve Urkel. So
you saw my reaction when you said they had been using his image.
Oh yeah. I'm not mad at my brother, you know.
Hey, make that money. I mean, you know.
Yeah, you can't be mad at that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Okay, so here's my question. I'll play devil's advocate here right now. We know, like, Jaleel White, obviously, the actual person is a grown man.
Yeah.
But do you think, you know, he always has those naysayers, and they're like, well, but you know, his character was like this wholesome, you know, kind of family-oriented, nerdy kind of character. Is that a good look for him to have a brand of weed now? I don't know. You think those people are going to come out of the woodworks?
If they do, I say to heck with them. I mean, he's allowed to grow up. It's funny because I saw him play a couple of like characters on, you know, shows where he was a guest star or whatever for an episode. And, you know, he was a tough guy on one of them. And he might have been, you know, like he might have been the killer. I can't remember the outcome of that episode. But I had a hard time embracing him that way because he's so Stephen Urkel to me in my head.
Right.
But if he's already accepted in this, I mean, that was 100 years ago that he was Stephen Urkel.
It really was.
So he was so like iconic in that role, right?
Yeah.
So, but if you know, people were already using his image. Somehow that crossover has already been made. So why not? Why shouldn't he?
Absolutely.
It's kind of like the whole, for years, Jamie Foxx could not live down the whole Wanda thing when he was on Living Color, if you remember that. You know, he played
Rock Your World.
Yeah, you know, and so for a long time, no matter what he did, whether it was comedy or whether he was trying to, you know, his stand-up or whether he was trying to do an acting role, for a long time, people always thought about the whole Wanda thing. And so it's like Robin said, like when you have an iconic situation that you've created and you've had this brand that you've created, it's kind of hard, especially for an actor, to get away from that. You know, that's I mean, it's kind of the good and the bad of it. You know, he was so good at it that now that's him for life.
Yeah.
So no matter what he does, people that know that role are going to always look at him as Urkel.
Right. Yeah. He was amazing at it. He was amazing at it. And I saw a glimpse on TV just the other night, and I think it might be an upcoming. Have you ever seen that show Uncensored, where they talk about their life and stuff? I saw a commercial. You guys see that? It was a commercial. It was just like a snippet where he talked about the Myrtle character he played.
Yes.
And apparently, you know, Myrtle was like the cousin, and he had the bright dress and the curls and the makeup and stuff. Well, apparently his dad wasn't so happy about that. And he wasn't happy about it either. And he said after he finally finished taping for the week, like he literally burst into tears. You know, he was getting a lot of riffraff from fans, like, you know, why do you have, you know, it's not a good look to have, you know, this kid in the dress, blah, blah, blah. And after he was done, his dad like literally snatched him up and told the producers like he's had enough, like we're done with this for, you know. So I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be interesting to hear some of the behind the scenes stuff that went on. But he does say here though, he wants to make it clear that you know, he hopes that he can maybe help debunk some of the stereotypes that come with, you know, weed. It's not just about getting high and, you know, whatever, but some of the highlight some of the medical breakthroughs as well. So, you know, props to Steve for that. You know, I think he could do that.
And
So,
and one thing I wanted to add to it is, if you can't kill it, if the character will not die, you have to learn to just embrace it and be who you are. And I think about that. You're gonna laugh, but that was actually something that Vanilla Ice said. He said, for over 20 years, I could not get rid of that Ice Ice Baby image, and he was like, you know what? When I finally embraced it, he said that's when I started becoming happy again. He said the image is not going away. No matter what I do, it's not going away. I might as well go on ahead and just accept it. And if you remember, Steve for a long time himself said, I will never play Urkel again. I'm done with that character.
yeah.
He's come around to saying, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and accept it. You know what? I'm going to capitalize on it, and I'm going to do it my way. So much props to him on that.
Yeah, much respect on that, because you do have a lot of. I don't know if y'all remember, poor Gary Coleman, bless his heart, rest his soul. He was miserable. Like, he was angry. Like, people that met him said he's just this angry, person. After his stint with, I'm gonna say the Drummonds. What's the show?
Different Strokes.
Different Strokes.
Arnold.
I'll call the show like by the whatever the TV name is. I don't even call it the Drummonds, but yes. Yeah, he wasn't happy. He had a lot of financial issues. Supposedly his parents stole all his money. We don't know if that's true or rumor or whatever, but he was not a happy camper and did not embrace the character afterwards, and there's a lot of actors like that I've read where once they're done, yeah. So good Virgo. Like I said, make some money off it.
Yes.
All right, let's move on, because I'm excited about this next segment, because it's pretty juicy. It's always juicy because my girl Princess Robin is at the helm. And this is a segment we like to call From the Heart. We talk all about relationships from, of course, our resident relationship guru, Miss Princess Robin. Princess, what you got for us today? Do tell.
I feel like we talk about her every episode, but I'm not going to break the trend. It's J-Lo. We're talking about J-Lo.
J-Lo.
She's not Jenny. She is just Jenny from the block. So, unfortunately, J-Lo and Alex Rodriguez have called it quits.
She's back on the block.
She's back to me. She on the block. Not on the corner. Not on the block.
That's too bad.
A moment of silence for the end of that relationship. I don't.
And that's it. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, I silence, and then I kept talking. I don't know. Nobody can ever know what's going on the inside of a relationship, but they were so adorable together, and so sad to see them part ways after a 2-year engagement. But what kind of the scuttlebutt is her reemergence of being seen with Ben Affleck, who she was engaged to for a while in the early 2000s.
Oh, I remember that time.
And they're claiming to be just friends, which go back and listen to Traveler's Guide. Okay. When people hang like that, they've been spotted together a lot, comings and goings. It seems like there's an increased amount of time spent since this breakup. Sometimes with maybe a potential overnight bag in tow.
Oh, not the overnight bag.
But nobody knows. Nobody knows. They might be just friends. I call BS on most people who say just friends. Male, female, and that close.
He's just a friend.
That's just me. Big guru. And so the plot thickens because there is also a video out there, or a person, who said that she was matched with Ben Affleck on a dating app, and that she unmatched him because she didn't think it was him, but he, supposedly sent her video, which, there's video if that's really him saying, why did you unmatch me? It's me. Because she says, I didn't believe it was Ben Affleck. So, there's a little bit of controversy about like, okay, you stepping out on J-Lo, which they're rumored to be, just anyway.
Wait, Princess, time out. Princess. Look, can we rewind? Did you say Ben Affleck is on a dating app?
He denies being on a dating
and
app.
And apparently she's on it too.
But who?
Why?
Why is she on it?
He said,
no, it was somebody else.
I think it was a woman. See, that's how rumors get started, K-Cee.
So to be clear, he was supposedly matched with a person who's not in the industry. She didn't believe it was him, so she unmatched, and then he, sent this video that has been posted that says, "Why did you unmatch me? It's me," And so anyway, wow. Let's go backwards though. Here's what I have to say about it. First of all, sorry about the breakup, J-Lo and A-Rod. I hope everybody's okay. But I have a very strict rule that I tell everybody, and this would be my from the heart advice: no go backs. You know what? You and Ben were in the limelight. You were, very publicly matched, and again, I feel bad for celebrities because everything they do is, public water. And people should be able to live their lives and have their, heartache. We all go through, heartache and breakups and divorces and, failed relationships. Theirs is on display. But here's what I have to say, J-Lo. Don't get back up in that relationship that you already said, y'all already agreed that it was not going to be a go. Your ex is for a reason. And eventually it just comes back to that place of, I just don't believe in revisiting a situation that you already tried.
Okay, I got, thank you for that, Princess. Now I just got a scenario here because sometimes.
Here we go.
And if you're getting ready to call me out, I will own all of my stuff. We can talk about it, but that's why I came to this conclusion. Okay, but go ahead. Sometimes,
Princess, I'm just saying, like, maybe there's certain parts of the relationship that were okay, right? So maybe the relationship itself didn't work. Right. Maybe, that's popping, and we don't have to be friends. We don't have to hang out. I'm just saying it might just be for that. I don't know. K-Cee, what do you think?
I think,
is that a valid reason?
No, because I think, especially in their situation, this is the thing, because they are both public figures. If they go out in public, they know that they're going to be seen. Right. So certain things are done intentionally. They cannot just randomly go to Domino's Pizza. They can't randomly do that. Right. Who they are. And on top of that, they got enough money that if they want to get something to eat, they can have the food and chefs and everything else come to them. If they want to keep everything on the deal. And another thing I gotta say, this is not the first time that she and Ben have been into some controversy, because I think when she was with Mark Anthony, Ben kind of grabbed her hand one time. Oh, I missed that.
Really? Saying something that's a little too cozy.
I'm trying to remember. There was an incident where she was with someone. I thought it was with Mark Anthony. It might have been with the other guy. And Ben was they were all at the same place, and he was leaving, and some kind of way, he kind of sneakily grabbed her hand, and she looked back, and he was like, "Yeah, it was me." But meanwhile, she was holding the hand of
the mate,
the person. So they had a history of some dirt. Like, wow. Mm-hmm. But like my wife said, your ex is an ex for a reason. What's gonna happen? You're gonna cook the eggs wrong, or something's gonna all of a sudden snap all the memories back.
All the memories come back.
You let the seat down, or something's gonna happen.
But I like to play devil's advocate and the what ifs. Anthony, you're really quiet on this topic. What do you think? I'm just saying. I mean, maybe it's just every now and then kind of little get together and sleep over, but there's no strings attached, and you both know that. I mean, is that okay? Or should you do like Princess and K-Cee said and just keep it pushing and
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for the most part, I would say keep it pushing. I mean, unless y'all have that like trust that you can stay overnight and ain't nothing gonna happen or something like that. But yeah, your exes are exes for a reason. Yeah, no. The only exes I'm friends with are girls that I dated in middle and high school. And by dating, I mean I'll walk you to your next class and hold your hand.
I can see you saying that to somebody.
Yeah. I mean,
right.
Hi, camera.
Okay.
I mean,
all right. Well, let's thank you, Princess, for that awesome segment. Always fun to talk about from the heart. All right, let's move on. Next topic. Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson, she had a baby and she's been kind of quiet in the news until recently. A story came out where, if you all remember the infamous 2004 incident, Super Bowl Sunday, Justin Timberlake and Janet did an amazing performance.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the performance, he, ripped open her thing. It was supposed to show a bustier, but it showed a boobstier instead.
And the biggest controversy was that a pasty or was that a piercing that we saw?
Right, well, you're right. Was it a pasty? Was it a piercing? Everybody was confused. We heard that it was intentional. We heard it wasn't. There was a lot of controversy around it because Justin Timberlake just kind of, he just kind of went on about his business and kept doing his music or whatever. Janet kind of sort of like low key got blackballed. Like, they were kind of shunning her for a minute.
Yeah.
So there's a lot packed in that, right? So it's like, unfair. Like, it's like, why are you blaming the woman and not both of them? Janet took the heat for it.
Yeah.
Here's my question, and I was looking today. I couldn't find it in time. Maybe you all know. I don't really know. Like, did they ever resolve if it really happened or not, or is that what this show is probably going to reveal? There's a show coming out where they're going to talk about this incident. I don't remember seeing whether or not anyone confirmed on either side. Real, fake, whatever.
Are you talking about a documentary?
Yeah.
What's coming out?
So there's a documentary that's coming out about it. So there's some producers that did a show called Framing Britney Spears. That was the first episode.
I saw that.
I know you saw that, but it's all about Britney's life and the controversy. Her father's her guardian and the whole night. They talked a lot about her and Justin Timberlake's relationship actually. So it's kind of funny that he's going to be doing another one. But so it's along those lines where it's a documentary and they're looking into this whole situation with Janet and Justin. But as I was reading, I was trying to dig up something. I couldn't find anything that no one ever confirmed. Remember, the big question was, okay, was that on purpose? Did Janet A know he was going to do that? Was it set up? Was it, part of the, and people couldn't believe that would be part of the act because it's Super Bowl, kids are watching. Mm-hmm. Why would they do that? And then a lot of people said, well, maybe it was just a PR stunt. I mean, there were so many rumors around it. Mm-hmm. I never found out what the actual truth was. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So maybe this documentary will tell us. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you remember the moment? Like, I remember I had a Super Bowl party. I'm gonna get K-Cee in a minute. I had a Super Bowl party, and we're making food and such. I missed it because I was in the kitchen, getting food together. Yeah. And I hear silence from the guys, and I hear the girls like, ooh, and I'm running out like, what happened? What I missed?
Mm-hmm. You and me both. I turned my head literally for that quick second. And
I think the guys were in shock.
I remember hearing, oh my God, that's her nipple. That's her nipple. And I turned real quick, but it was already, they had moved on.
Yeah. K-Cee, what were you doing? Were you at a party or what?
Not I was at this Super Bowl party, but
Uh-huh.
this is one thing. My theory, and I have a little insight. It was planned to a certain degree.
PR.
Because keep in mind, this is one thing, especially when it comes to major events, Super Bowls, anything like that. All these shows have a certain degree of tape delay, just in case situations happen.
Mm-hmm.
Language or whatever. It is a 3-second or 5-second tape delay, so that way they can catch certain things. Some of them are 10-second tape delays.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It sure is funny that the person that was in charge of the tape delay was sleeping.
Yes.
That day.
The fact that we saw it.
And the fact that you saw it, and you saw it for the amount of time that you saw it in its entirety. It did, and even then, the cameras didn't go to another side. They stayed there. And she was like, yeah,
right.
Why you
holding your hand like
I'm here, okay, all right, I'm back. Right? So but once again, there's tape delay on shows, especially shows for a reason, because you don't know what anyone's going to say at any given time, especially at a football game. Some language comes out, so that's why they have somebody always with their hand on the bus, right? And she was kind of thrown under the bus after that by a lot of people, and a lot of people that was respected, and a lot of people that we thought that was in her corner. Because keep in mind, at that time, she was dating Jermaine Dupri.
Right. Yes. Right.
And at the time, Jermaine Dupri was he was the Atlanta chapter's president of the Grammys. I was the Memphis chapter president at the same time, right? And when this happened, that was a big controversy because she was supposed to be on the Grammy. I think we talked about this before. She was supposed to be on the Grammy. She was supposed to get one of the major awards.
Right.
And Jimmy Jam them went to her and said, "We need you to take a lesser role. Step back." Right after that, Jermaine Dupri denounced the Grammys, denounced his membership, denounced his presidency, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, because they were throwing her under the bus, Justin came out and he was with all these apologies, and he was basically helping to throw her under the bus, because he was trying. At that point, they were both equally responsible, right? Even then, she had already apologized.
Yeah,
but she was not forgiven the way Justin was. Justin came next year at the Grammys and did 2 performances.
Right.
So
right.
I think
that looks all
kind of backfired on them overall in the public.
Yeah. I still want they apologize, but I'm just like, was it planned though? I mean, no one really confirmed or denied whether it was planned. They just apologized. That I remember.
But if you go back and watch that whole thing, the whole he was gesturing it the whole song. Every time he said, "I'm gonna get you naked by the end of this song," he kept gesturing like he was gonna do that.
I'll have to watch it again because I don't remember seeing that.
I thought they said that it was an accident after all of the fallout. But
nobody believed it. Okay.
I feel like I thought both of them said it was accident.
It was an accident.
It was because they didn't get the response that they thought. They got they shouldn't have done that. And shocking, I mean, everybody wants to be, have the shock,
Right.
But they didn't get the overall shock that they thought they were going to get. They got the negative shock as opposed to the positive shock.
Yeah. Here's my question though. I mean, I wonder if, let's say that that before that happened or whatever, I guess it'd be after she came out. I mean, what if it was, I don't know, J-Lo or Lady Gaga or a white performer that had done that? I just wonder if they would receive the backlash that Janet did. You know what I mean? I wonder that. Anthony, you're saying no?
No. I mean, if Madonna can basically dry hump a stage at an award show and she goes on to have a phenomenal career, and I mean, respectfully, she does. No, they're not. I mean, I've seen Lady Gaga wear risque stuff on TV shows and there's been no backlash. No.
Lady Gaga, Pink.
Pink, Pink, yep.
You know,
at the Grammys, in fact, when Pink did a performance, and when she took her outfit, I thought at one point she was naked. She had like a mesh bodysuit on. I thought she was actually naked, and I'm like, whoa.
Britney Spears, she's worn a flesh tone bodysuit before in several performances, actually. What was the guy that it was MTV Movie Awards, and he came he was with his butt out, and he landed on Eminem. You guys remember that? I forget the comedian.
Wait, was it?
No. It was Howard Stern.
Yes, Howard Stern. Thank you. Remember that? And Eminem was hot.
Well,
I don't know
what.
I'm gonna have to look this up.
Well, I was gonna say, let me correct you, because there were actually two incidences. So the one Eminem one we were talking about was Sacha Baron Cohen. That was for the Bruno movie. Yeah. They were saying that was staged. That's what I heard. They were saying that one was staged. Howard Stern did it. He did it like years prior. I remember that one too. So my mom was like, "Oh my God, look at his ass," and I was just like, "Ugh."
I could have done without seeing that. Okay, as millions of viewers, I'm sure. Because it was not a pretty sight. And I always remember Eminem looked like he wanted to punch him in the face. Anyway, my point being, I mean, it just, it's just annoying because it's like, it's such a double standard, a double standard. But I'm waiting to see this documentary.
Yes.
It'll be interesting to see what they say. I actually want to go back. I didn't get a chance to see the one about Britney Spears, but I'm interested in seeing that as well. Did you see that?
Yes, great documentary. I watched it. It's really good, and basically it talks about, like, her conservativeship with her father, her trying to break free from it, which is the whole Free Britney campaign, and obviously Britney Spears' music is on the soundtrack for me growing up. And that wasn't the biggest fan, but you feel for her. You're like, yo, let Britney do Britney. Leave her, let her out. Let her have her freedom. But as far as the Janet Jackson thing goes, I love the revenge that happened to Justin, because when Justin performed the Super Bowl a few years ago, everybody went on Spotify and all streaming platforms and streamed all of Janet's music.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing that. Yeah. Yes. All right. AC. So, hey, baby bro. He says, yep, PR stunt for sure. She was trying to get some shock value for sure. Mm-hmm. Yep, Madonna wouldn't have gotten the backlash. I love Stern, but that ass was a train. Yes, it was. On that note, I'm gonna jump to the next segment. Since we're talking about Grammys and music and all this kind of stuff, Super Bowl performances. Mr. K-Cee Clayton, what you got for us for K-Cee's Corner today?
Well, I had two topics, but I'm gonna go with the one I think that's most important, especially in the day and age that we are now, which is in artists investing in themselves. And a lot of artists don't know how to invest in themselves. And they don't know why, and they don't know what investing in themselves means. First of all, paying for your own material. Number one, that's investing in yourself. Because a lot of times, new artists, and more so new artists, they don't understand how the business works. They think, hey, you write a half a song, you go in the studio the next day the song is on the radio, the next day after that, you're buying a house for your mom. It don't work like that, right? There's a process. And a lot of times they want to skip those processes. They just want to go straight to the making money side of it, not knowing all the steps that goes into that. And at the same time, not understanding that you're expecting people to invest in you when you haven't invested in yourself, right? If you're not willing to take the time out and find the right producers, not just any producer, not just get the cheapest person that you can find to record, but get the right studios, get the right producers, get the right songwriters, get the right engineers, everything. Get the right PR people to put your brand out there properly. It's just like, it's an old school saying, you can't expect to make $1 million, on a $2 budget. It's not right. It's not going to work. So you have to know how to invest in yourself first and foremost. Put the right people, invest in an entertainment attorney that can guide you properly. It's not and it's not, expensive. Not by what you're trying to. It's like this. If you're trying to, if you have a entertainment attorney that say, listen, give me a $250 or give me a $500 retainer, right? Now, if you don't want to invest $500 in your career, but you're trying to make $5 million, that's something you got to stop and think about.
Right.
Another thing is, even when you're trying to go out and understand, when you're trying to, promote yourself to labels and you're trying to get a label deal, right? Well, once again, you have to look at it from a business standpoint. You're asking a complete stranger that don't know you from a can of paint to do something that your family won't even do.
Right.
You're asking a complete stranger to invest $300,000, $500,000, $1 million in you because you think you hot. They don't know you. Everybody can sing, everybody can dance, everybody can rap, everybody can play the keyboards or whatever. So what do you have that's different from everyone else, right? And what makes them want to invest in you? Get your family to ask your family to mortgage their house, to sell their cars, and invest in your career and see what happens. But once again, if you're not willing to do those things on your own, then why are you expecting someone else to do something that you're not doing? And this is what you have to look at it from a company standpoint. Companies invest in people that invest in themselves first. They want to see what you are bringing to the table, right? Nowadays, they want to see how many likes, how many views, how many plays, how many spins, how many people, how many followers you have that you're already bringing to the table before they say, okay, now we can lend our machine to this and grow it even bigger and better. But once again, if you don't have followers, if you don't have likes, if you don't have a song that is better than just playing at home for your family. Of course, mama gonna like everything you do. Let's keep it real.
Mama's always gonna like what you got.
Oh, that's my baby. I'm so proud of my baby, But there have been a lot of people that we know that can sing. There have been a lot of people that can perform, right? And even then, that is half of the battle. The product is half of it, but marketing the product is the other half of it. The same amount of time you spend creating the product, you've got to spend double that time marketing and promoting that product. Look at it like this. McDonald's has been around for over 100 years. We know the burger sucks.
Right.
But one thing McDonald's does is market. Soon as you hear ba-da-ba-ba-ba, you get hungry. This, although they don't care about it, but as soon as they see those golden arches, they will nag you about that Happy Meal.
Yep.
And even when you eat, even when they're on your last nerve and they get the Happy Meal, they don't eat the burger. What do? They play for the toy. That's called marketing.
Marketing. It's genius.
And once again, they have been around. Everybody knows that they have 400 billion sold, but they have never underestimated the value of continuing to market themselves.
Right.
Which means they're investing back into their interests. So if you're not investing in yourself, you can't expect other people to invest. You can't expect someone to buy your product when you're not putting the very best product out there. So once again, if you don't invest in yourself, you can't expect other people to invest in you.
Yes.
That's it.
Thank you, Nick. That's very sound advice. A click your neighbor on that. So, I mean, you may not be buying that Prada purse or those Gucci shoes. Yeah, $500, $600.
Marketing.
And that's what they don't understand. Those videos that you be looking at, all that stuff is rented. They don't know. The artists don't own none of that stuff.
Yep.
Right. Now, one thing though, you touched on social media because you can buy followers. Like, in fact, I was having a conversation with a friend the other day about the whole theory. Like, they were like, you can buy followers. They're like, I bet you. What if people have more followers than Instagram is letting on because they want you to purchase, right? Because they're a money making machine. They're trying to make their dollars. I hadn't thought about it until he said that, and I was like, he's like, you okay? Let's see, you have 1,000 followers. You might actually have 2,000, but they're kind of holding back because remember how they did the whole thing where you don't see all the likes. Yeah. You know, now it's like you look and it says 2 likes, but if you click on it, you see like, oh, it's actually 20 likes or whatever, you know. And so it just struck a chord when you said that, because I'm like, for people that are artists especially, I don't like how they did that. Like, show the people the likes. Because that's how a lot of people are making their money and getting the notoriety and so on and so on. I don't know. I have, that's a whole other topic, but I feel like social media just controls so much, like way too much, you know.
That's because as social media grows and this whole entity grows, everybody's trying to figure out another way how to capitalize off their situation. Now, social media, like, hey, these likes are valuable now, because now you have companies that are trying to buy into, that's trying to put ads on your spot based upon how many likes you have.
Right.
Now their thing is, well, now we're trying to play both sides. So now if we know these companies, you know, see you as a commodity now, now we got to make sure that we can control the whole narrative.
Right.
That's how it is.
Right. All right. Thank you, Brother K-Cee. We appreciate that. Always sound advice for those who see. AC Soul says, amen, amen. Yes, always sound advice, and thank you for that. We'll look forward to next week, see what you got. All right, let's talk real quick about Tyrese Gibson, aka Tyrese. Been in the Baby Boy movie, been in Too Fast and Furious, Fast and Furious, all the Fast and Furiouses. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. Well-known actor, amazing singer. Got his start as the Coca-Cola guy on the bus. You know, headphones, and he sings a little heart out. Love his music.
You my rib, girl. You my rib.
Wait.
He said, Baby Boy, you my rib, girl. Don't you know you my rib?
Jody, you
what?
Jody, Mama House.
I'm tired of you, Jody. Girl, you my rib.
Well, speaking of PR stunts, about 4 or 5 days ago now, thing popped up in my social media feed that says Tyrese shaves his girlfriend's private parts on social media, and I'm like, no way. Hey. And sure enough, I mean, you can't, you know, all you see is her legs in the air like this, and they're having a full-on conversation, and he's like, doing it, you know, and I'm like, Tyrese, really?
And all of a sudden, he brings the razor up, and it's like this. Bullet, 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 bullet. Bullet, bullet.
Oh my God.
Bullet, bullet.
Oh my God, I can't with
K-Cee.
It's too much.
Princess.
I live with this man.
How do you do it?
All day.
I not laugh all the time.
That'd be like, all right, baby, all done.
I couldn't believe. I was like, Tyrese. Now we know he's one for the being in the spotlight and the PR stunts and all the crazy. Yeah. But come on, Tyrese, that's just doing way too much. Now I think that again, talking about social media, people are just so desperate just to get the likes and the whatever, the followers. Like, they're just doing crazy shit. Even famous people like him. Like, he doesn't. The thing is, he doesn't have to do anything crazy to get notoriety. So, Anthony, why?
I'm in.
Your face.
I just wanted that reaction.
Why am I a Tyrese expert now? Hold on a second.
Yeah, why, Anthony? Why? We want to know why.
You know what? At this point, I think we need to put Tyrese on the sick and shut in list, because this ain't the first time he done something crazy like this. You know, I don't get it. Like, dude, you're in like one of the biggest franchise movies of all time. Why are you acting out like this? Why would you put that online? Why? I mean, come on. Tyrese need to get a new team around him. You know, we talk about PR team. He need to get a new team around him, because they would have been like, no, take his social media away from him immediately. And then what made it worse is his girlfriend filmed it.
Exactly. I mean, Didn't her legs get tired? Because it was like
exactly.
They got money for stirrups.
Invest in some stirrups. Tyrese,
Like,
come on. Princess, not princess. When I think of like the ultimate lady, polished, but I think of you. Now, what were your I mean, what is that appropriate? Come on now.
I don't think it is. I don't think it's appropriate. I feel like I'm starting to feel like of this group, I feel a little prudish. I don't.
You ain't got nothing to feel prudish about, baby.
But I don't see the need to film it. I just don't see the need to film it and put it on social media. You know what? I'm going to be completely honest. Not to take it away from Tyrese, but I'm not interested in a good 85-90% of the things that people post on social media.
Right.
Who the F cares? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
People groom, people eat, people laugh, people fart, and for some reason it's in vogue right now.
Yeah.
It's in vogue to put any and everything on,
Yeah, no
video. And I'm like, why do I even care? Why
no
do
boundaries.
I even care? That to me is a little bit like, you think a bit too much of yourself that this would be interesting to someone.
Well, like,
but anyway, that I don't think it's appropriate. No.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the mukbang videos where they sit there and eat, and then they got the microphone. You can hear like other crunches. It popped up. One popped up in my feed one day. She was eating lobster, and I was like, "Watch these videos!" Like making me hungry.
That's why I can't get down with TikTok and all the things. I'm like, it's a bunch of silly crap to me. I just don't care. There's so many other ways I could waste my time. Picking my nose, at least my nose would be. You know what I mean?
Right.
At least I get something out of it. But
yes, you do.
I feel you, Princess.
I wasn't pun intended. But anyway, no, I do think absolutely why. No reason.
Yeah, I thought that was a lot tacky. Now, Tyrese also was on one of my favorite shows, The Masked Singer. Yeah. He actually just got revealed. He plays this porcupine. It's called RoboPine, like a half robot, half porcupine. And if you don't watch the show, it's where they give all these clues and the performers who are now famous people, a lot more famous than the first season. And you try to guess. As soon as I heard his voice, I'm like, that's Tyrese. I've been saying it's Tyrese the whole time. I'm like, sure enough, it was him. And anyway, so that was a lot of fun to see him in there. I still think he's an amazing singer, amazing actor. But Tyrese, just stay off social media. We don't need to see all that. We don't need to see all that. Too much.
Sidebar. How many people are left on Masked Singer? Because I couldn't believe, I was like, we haven't watched it this season at all.
Yeah.
But we happened to flip to see him get eliminated. I was like, Tyrese got eliminated? He sings great. So how many are still left?
Well, see, if I remember correctly, I think there's 5 people left. There's 5 people left, and right. So he got eliminated, but there's a rumor, and I think it's true. Omarion's one, and he's really good. He plays like a abominable snowman or something, and he was dancing and he actually it sounds like him. I think it's him. I can't believe that they eliminated Tyrese unless they just wanted to see who it was, because maybe they were just dying.
He might have had another prior commitment.
Maybe he might have.
For so many years.
See,
I was just curious.
Tyrese was the anti-Bow Wow. Bow Wow didn't have nothing else to do last year. He's like, hey man, y'all niggas.
I gotta get to filming on.
Right. Yeah, and then another one that's rumored, and I think is the real tall lizard is Future. Sierra's ex.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was Snoop Dogg. A couple judges said Snoop Dogg. I think it's Future because of the voice. It sounds like him, but yeah.
Did they already do the group? The group of people? I'll look it up. Going back to
I'm
yours.
gonna do that one. I
watch him, y'all.
I don't watch it every. I don't watch it every week. What I do, I record it and then I fast forward to see who gets eliminated.
Okay.
I don't like sitting through the whole thing. I get bored.
Yeah.
But anyway, so all right, Anthony Adams.
Yes.
Kicking it with Ant.
Yay.
Give us some podcasts to tune into.
All right, hold on. Let me get my list here. I am prepared this time. All right. So, if you guys remember, a few months ago, I recommended one called Confronting O.J. Simpson, hosted by Kim Goldman. Now, there's a second season on this one called Confronting Columbine. This one is actually about a Columbine survivor, and she goes around and she interviews the head detective on the case, as well as one of the teachers, as well as a lot of her peers that were there that day, and some of them that were actually injured. So this one is really good. It just came out. If you have Wandery Plus, you can listen to the whole season right now on the Wandery Plus app. Another one I've been listening to, and this is a really good one, is called In God We Lust. Now, this one is a juicy one about relationships and people getting crazy. It is about the Jerry Falwell Jr. and his wife's scandal when they hooked up with the pool boy. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Juicy.
That is a real good. Yes. Another one I've been listening to is called Badlands. Now, I recommended the Disgraceland podcast. It's the same one. It's basically the same style, but this one is about like Hollywood. This one's called Hollywoodland, and it's about like actors getting away with like criminal activity and stuff like that. It's really good. The entire season is out right now on the Amazon Music free version of the app, but you can also get it bi-weekly on where you get your podcasts. And last but certainly not least, the reason why I am wearing this Mariners jersey is because there's a podcast called American Prodigy Season 2, The Kid, and it's on none other than Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh,
yeah. And it is co-hosted by Seattle's very own Kid Sensation. And he talks about his, I didn't know this, he's actually best friends with Ken Griffey Jr. So like it talks about how they first met and the influence and how Ken has been the same guy, the same down-to-earth guy he's been the whole time. And they talk about like his legacy disappearing in Seattle and in baseball in general. And so it's a really good podcast. And it's a nostalgia trip for me because when they talk about certain things, like I remember Ken Griffey Jr. with this last episode, they talk about the influence of black players in the MLB and how Ken made a bunch of black kids watch baseball who never would have cared about baseball. Mm-hmm. I think we're all in agreement on that. Like he was the reason why we watched the Mariners. I mean, yeah, even if they lost that season, we were all excited to see him up there. Here's a guy that looked like us who got, deals with Nike and showed us that you can do more than just play football or basketball. You can also play baseball. And fun fact, I didn't know this, but there's actually a song that Ken Griffey Jr. has rapped on called The Way I Swing with Kid Sensation. So check it out. And Ken's actually not that bad of a rapper. He's actually not that bad.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to hear the OJ one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because that one, what was funny? My mom got so into that trial.
So did my grandmother.
My mom, when I say she watched it every single day, could tell me the play-by-play, So, I mean, she was convinced he was guilty from day one. It's hilarious. I was like, Mom, you need to be a commentator on that show because she was so into it.
Mm-hmm. I'm just happy that the Derek Chauvin didn't last that long.
Oof.
Praise God.
Yeah.
What made that OJ case worse was it was during summer vacation for me, and my grandmother wanted to watch it every day, and I was at her house. So while I want to watch Saved by the Bell and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, she wants to watch the trial. So I'm like, great. So I guess I got to go outside and play now. Fine, I'll do it, which I did. But still, it was like, everybody remembers where they were during that trial when the Bronco chase happened and the verdict. I kid you not, I was in my elementary school when the verdict they actually turned the TV on so we could see the verdict. And I was the only black kid at the school. And all the white kids and the teacher kind of, when they announced he's not guilty, they all kind of they did one of these. They go, and they look at me. I'm like, what?
Isn't that crazy?
You were in elementary school, Anthony.
I was just thinking. I was like, I
was on my honeymoon during that trial from my first marriage.
I was at a radio station during that, but predominantly white radio station, and that exact same thing happened. We had TVs everywhere, and all the reporters are waiting to see the verdict so they can report it. And the verdict came, and there was like maybe 3 of us black folks, and they didn't all turn and look at us, but it was this awkward silence. And it's like everybody just kind of tippy-toed back to their desk, and it was just quiet like the whole rest of the day. It was crazy. And I will say too, I'll say a few folks that I had some suspicion that they might be a little low-key racist. Never talked to me again. Never talked to me again. So that was an interesting time.
Yeah, Hughley said the most important time when you see separate, segregation is Sunday morning. And when people was watching the OJ trial, that was the most crucial time in life when you saw segregation. Right in the morning, and when they put out the verdict.
OJ Simpson trial. All right, people, we're just about out of time. I want to thank you all for joining us. Had a wonderful, wonderful time as always. Lots of stuff. We didn't get through half the stories I have, but that's okay. We'll hit some more next time. But before we go, Princess, where can we catch Traveler's Guide?
Traveler's Guide to Venus and Mars on 8 podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor. And follow us on Facebook. It's Traveler's Guide to Venus and Mars with Princess Robin. On Instagram, it's @JustPrincessRobin.
Right on. And K-Cee, wait, you had a movie coming out?
Yeah,
soon, right?
Yeah, and hopefully this fall it will be officially out, starring.
Your mom. We just got to see an early draft, and it was like so cool. Oh my god,
she got more scenes in the movie than me. And I'm like, damn.
That's thank you, neighbor.
But it's a great movie. You're gonna enjoy it when it comes out.
Great movie called Chaser. A very powerful storyline, about what's going on in today's society, and really, really good movie. Myself, Boo Mitchell, who produced Uptown Funk, and a good friend of mine, Al Capone, who wrote and produced Whoop That Trick for the movie Hustle and Flow. So we collaborated on the movie and the score.
Okay.
Really, really excited about it, and we will just keep you updated when it's ready to come out.
Princess, should we do our song?
Yes. 1, 2, 3. Go. It's
Anthony,
it's a whole lot of
mess with my royalty. When you butcher the lyrics like that, you mess with my royalty.
We got the first ones right. It's
right? Hey, but we love the song. That we love the song.
You learn the lyrics.
Hey, we sing it all the time.
Sing it all the time.
I still trip out the fact that song won an Oscar.
Andy, when can we tell them about 90 Day?
All right, so Afterthought, WTF, 90 Day Moments, myself and the lovely Miss K-Cee Deeva host. We do it on, we put it out on Monday nights, early Tuesday mornings. It's Mondays when we recap the previous day's 90 Day Fiance episode, and we talk about the top 5 craziest moments of what happened, because there's always a crazy moment. Let me tell you something. You think your life is crazy, you watch the show and you be like, you know what, my life ain't that
right.
bad. Hey, we just recap it for you.
Right. We do a pretty robust recap. So if you missed it on Sundays, we got you covered. Don't worry about it. Yep. All right, peeps. I'm gonna say goodbye and wish you all well. Stay safe. And I'm just gonna say this: even if you got the vaccine, please don't get willy-nilly. Wear your mask. You know, do what you're supposed to still do. Click your neighbor.
Right.
Yes.
Two wrongs don't make it right.
It's not over, people. It's not over.
It's not over.
Like they say, two wrongs don't make it right. And it don't make
Exactly. Exactly. On K-Cee's note, I'm gonna leave you with this. All right, later, peace.
Keep it, y'all.
Later.
Later.